What up, YouTube? It's your boy Anime Specialist. So it was a great episode to end the third season of Boku no Hero Academia. We learned a lot and there's a lot to analyze, so let's get right to it. So obviously in last week's episode we got introduced to UA's big three for the first time. The guy with the blonde hair is called Mirio Togata, the girl is named Nijire Ado, and the Sasuke lookalike is named Tamaki Amajiki. My bad, he just looks so much like Sasuke. He doesn't have the same personality, but for me, when I saw him, I see Sasuke. So UA's big three is actually pretty weird. I didn't think they would be like that. Mirio is kind of a joker, you know, he likes to make joke and he's hyperactive. Nejire Ado, the girl, she likes to ask question and she doesn't even let the other people answering them. So she's kind of funny. I think she's probably the one that I like the most right now. And the Sasuke alike is really shy. He wasn't able to talk in front of the students of UA because he was that shy. Even when he was imagining them with a potato head, he wasn't able to talk in front of the class. So it was kind of funny. But they all have different personalities and they're all weird in their own way. So it reminds me a little bit of what class 1A of UA is. But I have to talk about Mineta, bruh. He has to calm the F down, bruh. I know that Nejiro Ado is more developed as a woman than his classmates. She has more developed breasts and thighs, and her body is more developed. So he's getting crazy just about that. He saw her and he was saliving, but I think it's the worst that I've seen in the series yet. I haven't seen him like that with other pro heroes or Momo, so that was crazy, bro. I know he's a perv, but this was on another level. Anyway, the reason why the big three was there to talk with class 1A was to talk about the work studies that they're going to do, I think in season 4. So instead of talking, Mirio challenged class 1A to a fight. So he was basically 1 against 24, at least 24 students. So obviously he's the strongest students anyway, so it wasn't a problem for him, but it was something to watch, man. He's really strong, and it's not really because of his quirk. The only thing that I regret is not seeing Bakugo fight Mirio. Obviously Todoroki didn't fight him either, so the only one of the top 3 students in class 1A that fought Mirio was Deku. So it was a little bit disappointing. I would have liked to see Todoroki and Bakugo going at it against Mirio. But even then, I don't think it would have been a problem for Mirio to beat them up, because I think every student in 1A was beaten by 1 hit, even Deku. So he's that strong. He's physically stronger than any other students in class 1A, even Midoriya, because Midoriya is that strong because of his quirk, but Mirio, it isn't really his quirk. He's physically stronger, so his body is stronger, faster than Midoriya's and the other students of 1A. Obviously, Mirio's physical strength plus his quirk as a combo is something that makes him really strong above other students and UA. So his quirk is basically phasing throughout objects and people. It reminded me a lot of Obito Uchiha in Naruto ability. So in Naruto, if you didn't watch it, Obito Uchiha, because of his Sharingan, can phase through anything. Not really phase, but he can put parts of his body into another dimension. But it was really similar to me, so it reminded me of Tobi and Obito Uchiha in Naruto. But Mirio's ability is a little bit different. I'm gonna talk about it later in the video, but it was something that I really liked. He fought every student of 1A except for Todoroki and Bakugo, and he destroyed them. Even when he went against Midoriya, he destroyed him. Midoriya anticipated where he was going to go, but because he can phase through the body of Midoriya, he used a technique. I think it's called Ultimate Move Blinder Touch Eyeball Crush. So he basically phased through Midoriya's body at the level of his eyes, so Midoriya couldn't see him anymore, and he one-shotted him pretty hard. So I really want to know more about him in the next season because he's an interesting character. But Mirio is really smart. He reminds me a lot of Midoriya because he thinks before he fights. And obviously, just think about that. He phased through Midoriya's body at the level of his eyes because he didn't want him to see, so that he could do his ultimate attack, so that is something really smart. And his comeback technique is pretty nice because he can infiltrate any base, or he can stealth take down anybody when he's on a mission. So it's pretty smart. He can fight one-on-one and fight in stealth. So I really want to see more about his fighting. But now let's talk about Miro's quirk. So it was pretty easy to understand, but maybe for other people it was harder because of the way that the anime explained it. But his quirk is called permeation, and he can phase and warp through anything, people, objects, everything. So in this episode we could see Mirio go underground because he can phase through anything, and the way that his quirk works is by going underground and releasing his quirk, he gets repelled to the surface in an instant because things that have mass can't overlap. So because of that, he can choose approximately where he goes because of the angle of his body. So it's something that he can use in a one-on-one combat, in going against multiple opponents, and he can use his quirk to go on stealth missions. So his quirk is really reliable. But yeah, if you think about it, his quirk isn't that strong, but it's the way that he uses it that makes it stronger. So I think he said that in the episode, and I think the other students of Class 1A can relate. Obviously, Midoriya has the one for all power quirk, but the way he uses it can make it stronger. So All Might obviously uses it. He used it with his fist, but Midoriya is going to use it with his fist and his legs. So by using your quirk correctly, you can make it even stronger. But every quirk has his liabilities and his consequences, and his quirk, because he can phase through anything, he can phase through actual air. So because he's phasing, he can't breathe while phasing, and he can't feel anything. So that's one of the consequences and liabilities that his quirk has. So like I said, the way you use your quirk can make you stronger, but it can also make you weaker. But he said something pretty interesting later in the episode about him phasing through walls. So we know that when he phases his whole body, he goes underground because he's phasing through anything. But for him to phase through a wall, he has to keep one of his legs or one of his body part unfazed, and that's the way he's using it. And it's really smart because if he phases his whole body, he's going to go underground. So he has to phase some parts of his body, and some parts of his body has to be unfazed. So I really think it's interesting because I didn't know at first that he could phase some part and not every part of his body. So it's pretty cool. The reason I like Mirio's character so much right now is because he's using his quirk so well. And it's not even only his quirk, his physical ability is really good. So he trained a lot to for him to be stronger and become the #1 students in UA, and that's it makes me remember a lot of Deku right now. At first, he was the last of the class because he didn't know how to use his quirk properly. But now that he's training and using it better, he's becoming stronger and stronger. Right now, I think he's maybe third in class 1A, and one day when he'll be able to use his quirk at full power, he'll be number one. So I think the parallel between the two is really good, and yeah. One last thing that I want to say about Mirio is in the sports festival, Midoriya said that he watched 1 year ago. He said that Mirio didn't do well, and the other B3, Adonijire and Amajiki Tamaki, didn't do well either. So I don't know if they didn't do well because they didn't want other students from other school to know what their quirk is, or if it was because they wasn't that strong yet. Maybe they didn't do the, I don't remember what it's called. Maybe they didn't do the work studies yet, and that's why they weren't the strongest of their class. But one thing that we know is after they did the work studies, especially Mirio, they became 100 times stronger than they were. So I'm really looking forward to what Midoriya and the other students of Class 1A are going to do. I really want to see how strong they're gonna get after the work studies. But yeah, another thing that Mirio said is that the hero that he worked with would really like Midoriya because of the way he thinks, because of the way he analyzes everything in the battle. So I'm really wondering if Midoriya is going to work with the same hero that Mirio worked with. So I really want to know who it is, because if the way that Mirio got stronger, the hero has to be one of the top 10 best. So I really want to know who it is. Maybe Midoriya will train and fight with this particular hero. But yeah, Midoriya also called Gran Torino to see if he could train with him, but Gran Torino said something pretty interesting. He said that maybe Midoriya could go on a work study with All Might's old sidekick, but I thought his sidekick was the one that we saw in the movie. So I'm wondering if it's the same person or if All Might had different sidekick. But it's pretty interesting. Now I will end the video with the villains. So we might have seen two of the strongest villains in the series right now. Obviously one of them is called Tomura. He's the one with the ends, and the other one is called Overhaul. So I don't know anything about him, but I've heard that he's a great villain from the manga readers. So I'm hyped to see what he's all about. I don't know his quirk and I don't know who he is, so I really want to know more about him in the next season of Boku no Hero Academia. But twice the hero that was really, we saw his backstory in last week's episode, recruited him, and Overhaul wanted to see Tomura. So even Tomura was surprised to see him, and it seems like he knew who he was. So it seems like he has a reputation already in the League of Villains. So we'll see, man. They're going to team up, and we'll see what they're all going to be about. I'm hyped to see what's going to happen in the fourth season of Boku no Hero Academia. Something really interesting that Midoriya, the narrator, said at the end of the episode. Obviously, the narrator is Midoriya, but Midoriya from the future, the one that became the #1 hero. But he said that just like we were one step closer to becoming real heroes, Malice also continued to move forward in their darkness. So yes, the students from UA are getting stronger, but the villains are also getting stronger. So I'm hype about next season. I think it's gonna be way better than the third season. The third season I think was pretty good. The first half of the season was really good. The second half was okay. In all, I think the third season was maybe the second best season of the series so far. I really like the second season more than the third season, If the third season would have only have been the first half, I would have said it was the best season, but it wasn't. I'm hype about the fourth season of Boku no Hero Academia. Obviously, it was announced before the anime even ended that there would be a fourth season, and they're working on it right now. So we'll maybe have it in April, like the other seasons. So I'm hyped, man. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below, and let me know what you thought about the third season of Boku no Hero Academia overall. I think it was a 7.5 out of 10. I think the second half could have been better, but overall I think it was really good. Thank you for watching. I think this was my longest review on my channel, so I'm happy about that. But let me know what you thought about the season. Let me know what you thought about the episode, and let me know what you're looking forward to in the next season of Boku no Hero Academia. Like, comment, subscribe. It would help me a lot. I do other anime related things and other anime reviews. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.